most people, if they feel like they're being paid fairly, don't think about money. They just go and do the job. If you're a quarter to a third low or more, then do something. Don't just accept that, because if you'll permit me to exaggerate, to make a point, it will never get better. The people you're counting on to make it better are busy.
And you're not
a million
a problem.
Other things.
And
you're not a problem.
And as soon as you are a problem, you're not getting a raise. So, so you can't become the problem to get the attention. You actually need to be. You need to maintain being a good employee and churning it out. But you just have to basically make people aware that what you're doing isn't normal. It isn't what other people doing your job are doing, that you're bringing in a lot of value with the other stuff that you're doing for the organization.
Yeah. We had somebody we know, there was a lot of turnover at his company, and every year and a half or so, they would ask him to basically temporarily take over somebody else's job. Like, you keep doing yours, but then add this other one. And he was like, okay, that'll cost you half of their pay. I'll do it, and I'll make you a great deal. But the only way I do it is you take half of what they made and give it to me. And this dude was highly paid. And so he would get a huge bump in his pay while this would come on. And then it would, and I always loved it because, it was awesome, right?
Well, it's actually a reasonable thing that you should do, because too many times the opposite happens where, like, the difference is that him forcing them to pay half of the other salary on top of his current salary makes them aware that he's filling in temporarily to pull them out of a problem.
Yeah.
Whereas if you just take over that job, you're never going to hear from them again. Congratulations, have two jobs.
It's like taking in a cat.
Pay.
It's like taking in a cat, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're putting the milk out for the cat. Yeah. All of a sudden you're double.
Right. So, I mean, like, there does need to be a level of pain exerted on the organization.
Right. And there was, because HR screamed murder. We can't do, like, I love HR, except when I don't. And this is one of those cases where I don't. Like, HR is like, we can't do that. And he's like, okay, then go hire somebody. You can do that. Well, we can't find somebody and we need somebody for now. Like, the job couldn't be left. Like, okay, well, figure it out. And eventually they did, because of course you can. Of course you can.
They were already paying somebody full salary. They could certainly pay somebody half salary to do it.
No. It was HR wasn't saying we didn't have the money. They're saying this can't be done. Like, we can't break his bracket.
Right. I get they like their bands.
Yeah, they like,
but he was already out of the band.
He is already it was brilliant, because it made it painful enough for the company to where they didn't want this to persist. And he got actual recognition for doing the job. Mm-hmm. Not just, hey, good job, and then I'm on to the next, and you're doing this job forever. Yeah. It's crazy.
Which is how my first example, the person the CEO sent to me, that's how she got 3 jobs. Because she was already hired in at too low of a rate for the one job.
Yeah.
And she was extremely competent. And then they threw on another job, and she did a pretty good job at that too. And they didn't have to pay her anything else. And then somebody else quit. And then she got a 3rd job.
No, it sounds crazy, but it happens.
I got a 4th sin.
All right, lay it on me.
More true for women than men based on studies. But when you are applying for a job, you aren't applying for a job and the pay based on what you currently are able to do. The expectation with hiring somebody is that they've got, like, the foundation to make them a good candidate. But we expect that when they come in, they're going to grow and learn.
Yeah.
And so you need to actually be applying for that job that's next, and the salary that's next, not the salary that you're currently at with the skill set that you've already locked in.
Yeah. I think the studies you're referring to are the ones where basically men are willing to apply for jobs they're not qualified for.
It actually, it's funny. I remember the HBR article. I don't remember who wrote it, but it's got a chicken wearing a peacock's feathers.
Yeah.
And that's like the men who are like willing to.
Yeah. 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 And then sometimes they get it.
Look like the peacock when they're a chicken and they get the job and then they become the peacock.
Sometimes people in general, although you're saying, yes, it happens more with women than men, but sometimes people basically go for jobs that aren't as much of a stretch as they could.
They're more lateral than not. Yeah. And because of that, then you're also not getting a pay commiserate with a stretch job.
Yeah. Yeah. Those places we work, you'll remember who I'm talking about, but there was this person and he was in a entry-level manager position in this company and basically in a nice way demanded to be mentored by the CEO because he was going to be a CEO one day. And everybody laughed at the guy. They laughed.
I didn't laugh at that guy.
I didn't laugh. I thought, wow, he's really.
Yeah, we
but basically, he signed up as a entry-level manager, demanded to be mentored by the CEO. The CEO, for a variety of reasons, took pity on him and said, okay. And I'll be darned if like 3 years, three?
I mean, I might have been 3.
The dude was a CEO. Now, it was of a relatively smaller
organization.
Yeah,
he had to lead the organization.
He did it.
Yeah, he did it.
Everything.
And I don't know why, if they've listened to that man's story, I don't know why they would have ever laughed at that.
Everything that we have talked about in this podcast, he was the opposite. He always was willing. He was willing to move. He was willing to ask. He was
willing to take like the low end position to basically find the route to go to find the path essentially. But he wasn't going to stay on that path long.
Nope. And he never took low pay.
No.
He took the appropriate pay for the entry-level manager job he had. And then when he went so many years later to become a CEO, I think he only made 2 jumps. First ever manager job. And then he did a second jump, and then he did a third.
It's very fast trajectory.
And that doesn't have to be you. But if you're listening to this podcast, you've had the same job for 8 years, and you've only gotten small increments of pay. Look, what are you doing? If you're motivated enough to listen to podcasts about management,
and your pay hasn't moved,
right?
Yeah,
like.
Now, pay
do something
tends to move with ability. And so, and like that goes back to the sin of basically taking on other jobs and not getting compensated for it. Like you are learning new skills and greater ability. You should be more marketable to be able to have a higher paying job, which means a promotion embedded in that higher paying job.
Right. Yes. Yeah. But none of that just happens. This guy who we're talking about is a CEO of a decent sized organization, and he's probably 33. He's a smart guy, but he's not a genius. Everything that we're pointing out is a sin for why people don't make as much money as they should. He has none of those problems.
Right.
Not one. And he's CEO at 32, making plenty of money. But the reason we chose this topic is because we experience a lot of people who are profoundly underpaid. And by profoundly, I mean anywhere from a quarter or more less than what regular people in similar jobs are making. And in some cases, this has gone on for years. In some cases, the gap is bigger than that. There are a lot of reasons why this happens. The original sin of taking a job for less money than you're worth. The sin of thinking that just good performance is going to make this all even out and the money is going to follow when the people you're counting on are so crazy busy that just doesn't happen. Not being willing to move and then not being willing to stretch yourself for another job. And in so doing, not being able to make a jump as big as you might otherwise be able to. And you don't have to be a ruthless job jumper to make what you're worth, but you have to be able to fundamentally evaluate, am I underpaid? And if so, begin the steps of getting a significant pay raise. And if your company can't do it, then you either have to leave or you have to stay being underpaid.
And if you are okay with that, at least then you're making an informed decision.
Yeah. Yeah. You and I, we don't recommend that. We do not recommend people being underpaid.
No, we don't. But if you love your boss that much and you love your coworkers that much and you love the mission of the organization that much, I'm not going to tell you you're wrong to stay, but you need to know what you're trading off and you need to make that decision.